when Jesus told these believers that they could not be his disciples unless they allowed his word to break their sins, they got offended. Look at verse 31. Then Jesus said to those Jews which believed on him, right off it says what? If. He throws this big up, if, in front of them. If you continue in my word, then are you my disciples indeed. Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And Jesus is inferring they're in bondage. He would have never said, come to my truth and be free if they were not in bondage. It's right there very clearly. And what he's saying, you say you believe in me, but you're not free. You're still bound. If you really believe in me, you must obey my word and continue in my word. In fact, the better translation is simply this: whosoever practices sin is his servant. It's his servant. Look at verse 34. Jesus answered them, saying, verily I say to you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin. That doesn't mean you commit one sin, but he who practices sin is a slave to sin, Jesus is saying. But I mean, these people, look at me now, they were horrified. They were angry. They said, what do you mean, bondage? What do you mean, sin? We've never been in bondage to anybody. Look at it in verse 33. They answered him, we be Abraham's seed. We were never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, you shall be made free? What do you mean there's sin in my life? What do you mean that I'm not a child of God? What do you mean that I'm taking direction from the devil rather than from God my Father? And that's what Jesus tells them. You're going to see it very, very clearly here. But they would say to Jesus, but Master, you told one of us, Nicodemus, who was one of us, you told Nicodemus, whosoever believeth on you shall not perish, but have everlasting life. For God sent not his Son to condemn the world, but the world through him might be saved. And they're saying, Jesus, we believe. We stand on your word. You said, we believe, we're saved, you won't condemn us. We're your righteousness. And Jesus would have to come back to them and say, now wait a minute. I also told Nicodemus something else. And it's that something else that people don't want. It's that something else. It's that big if that Jesus puts there. Before all believers. He said, you didn't quote me right. See, you go down from John 3:16, John 3:17, and you go to John 3:19, and this is what you get. Men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds are evil. Everyone that does evil hates the light. They will not come to the light, lest their deeds should be exposed or reproved. But he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be manifest, that they are wrought in God. He said, if you're going to say you believe in me, I'm the light, you're going to come to me and let me expose everything that's in your life, that I can change you. And if you won't come to me and accept my word and continue in the word and let my word continuously purge you and work in you, then you're not my disciple. You can't be my disciples, he said. He said, unless you do that, you cannot be my disciple. You can't say you believe in me unless you take all my word and let it work in you. We say a lot in this church about letting the word of God cleanse. Let the word of God work in you. Let the word of God do it. And according to Jesus, now listen closely, no one is a true believer until the word has a place in his heart. And these are the very words that Jesus uses, a place in the heart. Until the word is both a terror to you, a hope to you, until you're committed to obey every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God, until the word exposes and breaks the bondage of sin and tradition and false doctrine. Oh, we've got an easy believism in the church today. We're telling them, just believe and I'll be saved. And we block off the whole rest of the Bible. We just mark it all off, just as they did, as they would say, well, you told Nicodemus, just believe and you won't condemn us. Won't even talk about walking in the light, resisting the devil that he flees from you. To these believers, Jesus said, you seek to kill me because my word hath no place in you. They were flabbergasted. What do you mean? We're saying we believe in you. And he said, you're out to kill me. You're out to kill me. Now, you say, well, we don't do that, Brother Dave. How would that ever apply? Oh, yes, we do that. He's the Word, isn't he? Jesus is the Word. And when we will not accept it, and we drive it out, we put Jesus Christ afresh to an open shame. We crucify the Son of God by crucifying His Word, driving it out of our lives. Jesus is saying to them, you cannot be a doer of my word because you've never laid down your sin. You still take orders from Satan. You do that which you have seen with your father. Can you imagine Jesus telling that, pointing a finger lovingly at these people, these Jews? He's saying, you're doing what your father, the devil, tells you to do. You've never separated from the world. You're still doing it. You have your old habits, your old ways. You've hung on to your old traditions. Now, we may not like it, but listen close. I believe this with all my heart. A great majority in the church today who call themselves believers have never been saved.